All right, time for another fibble. This is the game that's just like Wordle, but on every row, one of the clues is a lie. Starting us with bonus, which I definitely want to repeat the N. I don't want to do too many of the grays because, I mean, we know that only one of those grays is in there at most. Could do the O and the S maybe. How about something like cones? That's not too bad. Okay, so one of the N's is a lie. So we definitely know the O's and the S's are true. Okay, so I guess we'll do the N again. We could do maybe with the E. We could do tuned. Do the U and the E again. Look for some contradictions, sure. Okay, well, so we know the second or the third N is also a lie, one of the two, or both. They could both be lies. We don't actually know that at this point. There could be no N at all. But we know definitely one of those two is a lie, so the E is definitely true. So either there is an N third and there's a C. The C would have to be the lie if the N third is true. So there would have to be a C. Or there's not an N third and there's no C. Okay, so if the, right, let's look at this. If the N is third, let's say the N is third for a second, right? There has to be a C. And it means that these are lies, so there has to be a D as well. So N third means you have to have a C and a D, which is possible. The D couldn't be there, though. And you couldn't have a U, O, or E then at that point. So you'd have to have A or I. Let's uncheck that. We don't know that yet. We don't even know there's an N in the word, actually. But I'm kind of thinking maybe N somewhere else is the way to go. We could do nadir. That is, it's like it's the opposite of the zenith. It's like the low point. I don't 100% know what that is, but I know it's the low point. It's the opposite of the zenith. It's some sort of observational thing where you can see, yeah. Anyways, not important. It is a word. So that would be, a new spot for the N and the D, and check a couple different vowels. Because if there's no U, then we've got to have an A or an I. I don't know. Let's just see what that does for us. Okay, well, Well, we do know, okay, so one of the two D's is a lie. Either there is a D or there's not a D. They can't be both. And so there is an N. We definitely know there is an N. And okay. So yeah. So let's think about this. So if this is true, if the yellow N is true, the green N is a lie, right? We know that those can't both be possible. If this N is true, can that one be a lie? If this N is true, right? If this N is true, then yeah, okay, so back up briefly. We know one of the two D's is a lie, right? For sure, one of the two D's. They could both be lies, but one of them is a lie. So definitely either this yellow N is true or this green N is true. They could both be, no, they can't both be true. Ooh, they can't both be true. They can both be true. They can't both be lies. They could both be true if there's a green D at the end here. They could both be true. But we know at least one of them is true because they can't both be lies. So if this one is true, this is false. That's easy to see. If this one is true, can this one also be true? That's a question. It can. This would be a lie. This would be true. This would be a lie. That's possible. But then we've got N first and third, and we have to have an I and an R, and a C. We'd have to have I, R, and C, and a D. We can't have I, R, C, and D, and two N's. That's too many letters. So what I'm saying is we know either this is true or this is true, at least one of them. Either one being true makes that one false. Therefore, that one is false. So this is true. Okay, we still don't know about the yellow N for sure, or the green N down here. We know that one of these two has to be true at least. They could both be true because this could be referring to that one, right? So now the problem is if the yellow n is true, right? Whether this is true or not, let's assume the yellow n is true for a second. You've got to have a u or a b because of up here, right? And if you have the u, then the u is the lie on both. That makes the d true, which makes this the lie. So then the n would have to be at the beginning. You would have to have a d and a u and an I and an r. And the d and the r can't be last. So it would have to end with an I or a U. You'd have to have NI, because you're not going to do ND or NR. NI, it'd be like Nerdu or something. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So I don't think the yellow N can be true. I think the yellow N has to be false. But that can't be right. If we know there is an N, no, these have to be true. Forget about what I was just saying. No, that was, I'm sorry. What I just proved couldn't be true was not that these couldn't be true. I proved that couldn't be true that these were true. Anyways, that was assuming this was true. These have to be true because we know there's an N and we know it's not third. These are true no matter what. So there is either a U or a B. If there is the U, again, we're back to there's got to be a D and an I and an R. No, because that makes the N true at the beginning. The U can't be true. Or the U can't be the lie. The U has to be true. So there's a B, which means it's probably at the beginning, which means this is probably a lie, but we don't actually know that for sure, I don't think. But there's definitely a B. If it's BRI, that could be good. BRI, we'd still need to have an Brink? Brink. I think, maybe? Does that work? If the D is the lie, this is true. The R and the I are true. The N is the lie. Yeah, Brink would work. Let's go for it. All right, Brink, very nice. Okay, cool. Well, I wasn't expecting there to be a B in the word out of bonus. I figured if there was another letter, it was the O, the U, or the S. I actually half suspected that there wouldn't be an N, and there was, and yeah. All right, well, I got myself a little confused there in the middle, but I think I did mostly okay there. But got it in 4, so you can't be upset about that. So let me know, if you were tuned into the lies on this puzzle, or if you were on the brink of failure and needed bonus guesses. Yeah, just let me know how it went for you. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more.